Hello, all you wonderful people out there, and welcome to my media museum. Today, we're going to be looking at some novelty records. Probably going to be broken into two episodes. These are the novelty records that I pulled out of my remaining mix boxes. And starting off here with Devo, Whip It, which we have shown in a previous episode in one of the first 9 boxes that we did. But I've got 2 copies of it here, back to back in this box, and they have different B-sides. So the first one here has got Girl You Want, which I recall as having been the B-side on the previous copy that I shown. And there's a little information tag there that some previous collector shared with us, in case you're interested. But this next copy here, while it looks the exact same on the front label, Freedom of Choice being the album that the song's from, and that's also the album that Girl You Want was from Freedom of Choice. The B-side on this one is a song called Turn Around, and it is not noted as being from Freedom of Choice, so I'm not sure which one came first or why we've got 2 copies with 2 different B-sides, but I found that interesting, and so I wanted to start the video off with those 2 45s. Also because I think it's a great song. I love that song. Do 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 do. And now here we've got Steve Martin, which is another one that we have previously shown, King Tut, and it's got the same B-side as on the previous version that I've shown you, Sally Goodwin, Hoedown at Alice's. But the next one that was in the box was one that we haven't seen before, or I hadn't seen before, Steve Martin's Excuse Me, from his Let's Get Small album. And it's a back-to-back hit, so you know that's where they typically pulled 2 hits and put one on the A side, one on the B side, and that's how we ended up with a different King Tut. I believe it's the exact same recording. It's still noted as 2 minutes and 10 seconds as the previous one was, and you also notice that it's noted Steve Martin and the Tutankhamons. But there you have that. There's 2 different King Tut 45s for you. Then moving on, we've got a Weird Al. Always love Weird Al. He cracks me up. And Ricky, which is the takeoff of the "Oh Mickey, you're so funny," you know. And the B-side of that one being Buckingham Blues. So always happy to add another Weird Al to my collection because I do like Weird Al. He's done a lot of really great stuff over the years. Next one up here, we've got Larry Grossi, Larry Grossi. Not real sure how to pronounce his name. Junk Food Junkie. And I do remember this song going all the way back to 1975. So yeah, this one takes us back a few years. And the B-side on it is a song called Muddy Boggy Banjo Man. And you'll see as we get a little bit farther here, probably actually starting with this very next one, that they're not all necessary novelty records, but they were funny titles, you know. So we've got novelty, funny titles, just weird things in this batch. And this one being Rockin' Pneumonia and the Boogie Woogie Flu by Huey Smith and the Clowns. So this isn't the version that you know and have heard on the radio. And it's a collectible, so it's a reissue. And this is marked as side A, and it's also part 1. And B2 does have side 2 does have the part 2 on it, or the B side. Getting my terminology tongue-tied there on me. So here's another one that's just a funny title. I don't know if it's meant to be a novelty record. I'm guessing it might lean towards country and music. I haven't put it on to play it. But Hey Bartender, One More and Shove Me Out the Door by Don Swiggle Swaggle. And I'm sure that's not a real name. I don't know who Don Swiggle Swaggle is, but I seriously doubt that's his birth name. And side 2, or the B-side, it's called side 2 on this particular 45, Wine Made a Fool Out of Me. So You know, a lot of times drinking songs are definitely country and western themed. So without throwing that one on and not knowing it, I can't tell. But it is a funny title and put a smile on my face when I first saw it. Next up, we got Carl Douglas doing Kung Fu Fighting. And I had this 45, not this particular edition of it, but I had this when it originally came out back in 1974. Yes, I bought this one and had it in my 45 collection. Which, you know, a lot of kids, you know, there's a 3 or 4 year span there where 45s tend to be popular with people. Usually in the later elementary years, early junior high. And I think going back to when they started out in the 50s, it was much more mid and later teens even. But definitely for my generation, it seems to be late elementary, early junior high for most of the people I talk to. And that puts me right in the ballpark there. My Kung Fu Fighting was an original from the day it came out. That's how I know this is a different version. This is a reissue. It says 1974. No telling when this one was actually done. It even has a different B-side from the original one that I have, Dance the Kung Fu. And I know that's a different B-side because I don't remember the song Dance the Kung Fu. And like I said, I had this one and I played all my 45s numerous times. So Carl Douglas, Kung Fu Fighting, everybody knows that song. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's been in a number of songs, Jackie Chan movies. It's been in at least a couple. Alright, next up we've got Bachman and Garcia with Pac-Man Fever. And you might remember this one if you remember back in the days when Pac-Man hit the arcades and was a big, huge deal amongst the population. They definitely made a buck off of the popularity of the game at the time. And the B-side of it being an instrumental version of the song. So I couldn't hum this one for you. I'd have to put it on. But I definitely do remember the song coming out. This one's cool because it's got an original Woolco sticker for 97 cents on it there. And I do believe it is an original. I have the album of this actually, and we have shown this one in a previous video. So this one is another duplicate, but the duplicates from these final boxes that were novelty, I still threw in with the novelty stack just to go over them again. But again, 1975. And Convoy, we got a break with Convoy, trucking through the night. And CBs were real popular back then. If you don't know what a citizen band radio or CB radio is, it's because you probably grew up in the internet age. But back in the 70s, definitely the mid-70s, CB radios were a way you could communicate with people around the area. Truckers used them not just to avoid the police or smoky roadblocks and stuff, but definitely, I believe they use it extensively in Smoking the Bandit. So that's a good example of them using CB radios. We didn't have cell phones. There was no such a thing. Beside this being Long Lonesome Road, which was on that Black Bear Road album, which is where Convoy came from. And then I got a second copy here, exact same song. It's got a hole in it, which is usually indicative that it didn't sell in the store. They marked it as damaged, got credit back from the record company, and threw it away. So this one obviously didn't get thrown away, or somebody dumpster dived and rescued it. A lot of the times employees simply took them home, and you know, that's where they ended up. Alright, next up we've got one that is definitely a country song, but I remember the movie had the I Dream of Jeannie lady in it, and Harper Valley PTA by Jeannie C. Riley. And yeah, I couldn't sing this one necessarily to you either, but I do remember the song. I am familiar with it. Yesterday, all day long today. Okay, that's an odd title. Don't know what to say about that. And then this one's interesting. The collector that I got this off of had some notations on here, and you'll see he's got it very good. I think that says 5.8. It's from 1961, but it's the Touchables, the Dickie Goodman and There was a Bachman. Yeah, see, it's got Bachman on here, but it's not listed on the label of the 45. A novelty break-in song is what they're calling it. I'm not as familiar with this one, but I do know the B-side, so that's why I was getting a little long-winded there leading up to showing it. And also, it is not in the condition anywhere near. It's kind of dirty. I definitely need to give it a cleaning. It might be pretty better off if I did a little bit of work on it and did some cleaning, but there's some serious scratches on the B side, so I don't know how anyone could call that very good. It wouldn't be very good in my book. It would be actually poor on the B side and acceptable on the A side, because I'm sure I could clean that A side up and it'd be just fine. It's just never going to be very good. But anyways, Martian Melody, I do remember that one. I do remember that song, and I think that song had came out previously. So here's an example where they were using a previous hit as a B-side on a new song that they were doing. Very common practice in the world of 45s. And then here's one that's probably not a novelty record or intended to be comedy. It might be a little bit hard to see because we've got that silver on dark blue there. But it's Parliament doing Tear the Roof Off That Sucker. And I just thought that's a funny title. Kind of cracked me up. It's got a really cool Casablanca label. So that's also another reason to show it and like it. And it's got the song P-Funk on the B-side. And it's clearly marked the B-side, so I'm not guessing here. So there you go. That's going to wrap us up with episode 1 of the Novelty Records. And we'll be back with actually some bubblegum. But bubblegum, in my opinion, is kind of in the vein of novelty records. So hope you join us for that. Have a wonderful day.